I want to share 3 very important things that you are going to have to master if you want to go months without binging, if you want to never think about food, and if you want to stop feeling strong urges to binge. I have coached so many clients at this point, and I have seen a common theme. A common theme between the clients who go months without binging, the clients who are like, I haven't felt a single urge to binge in months, the clients who are like, honestly, I don't think about food. I can just stop when I'm full. I see a common pattern. And there's 3 things that I want to talk about today. Now, before I dive into that, there's a comment here. I feel safe with binging. Binging is familiar. Binging gives you comfort. It gives you relief. It brings safety. Of course you feel safe with binging. I talk about this love-hate relationship with binging very often. It's like you hate it. You never want to binge ever again, but you keep coming back to it because it's giving you something. It's giving you that sense of safety, that comfort, that relief, that pleasure, especially at the end of the day, right? If you have just, gone through a busy, stressful, chaotic day, it's like, I can relax and I can unwind with food at the end of the day. So binging is safe. It feels safe. It feels comfortable. But then you have to reframe that and say, it feels safe, but is it actually safe? I was just doing a masterclass with my clients, and I was talking about the difference between like the fact versus the feeling. So binging feels safe, but the true fact is binging is not keeping me safe. What is binging doing for you? It's maybe causing you to not want to be intimate with your partner. Maybe binge eating is causing you to not feel rock solid, confident in your own skin. Binge eating is making you feel like you're living this double life. So yes, it creates a feeling of safety, but the truth is that binging isn't safe. Like binging actually doesn't give you safety. It like feels safe in the moment, but we have to dig a lot deeper, okay? So 3 things that you need to master if you want to go months without binging, if you want to no longer feel a single urge to binge, and if you want your food thoughts to go away. The first thing is you need a rock solid, badass mindset. It is so easy to have a positive mindset when things are going well. It's really easy to feel positive, to feel motivated when you are feeling good in your own skin, when maybe your urges aren't popping up. But you need a rock solid, badass mindset all the time. Your mindset plays such a huge role in you conquering binge eating. If right now your mindset is, it's gonna be really challenging to stop binge eating, it's gonna feel challenging. If your thoughts are, I have to give in to my urges. My urges are so strong. I can't do anything else. I have to give in to my urges. You're gonna keep giving in. If your thoughts are, I can't conquer because I have a really stressful job. I can't conquer because I have 5 kids. I can't conquer, my situation is different. If you think those thoughts, it becomes your reality. If you have a thought of, you spontaneously went out for lunch with your coworkers asked you to go out for lunch, and now you have the thought of like, probably shouldn't have ordered those fries. that's going to impact your progress. How you think impacts how many binges you have. If you think it's going to be challenging, I don't know if I can conquer, it's really easy to keep giving into your urge because you're like, what's the frickin' point? I'm probably not going to conquer. If you have the thoughts of, oh yeah, my day already got messed up. I shouldn't have ordered those fries for lunch. Why did I order the fries? Oh, I shouldn't have ordered the fries. That thought can actually create an urge later on in the evening. So you need to have a rock solid badass mindset, and you need to watch your thoughts. You need to watch your thoughts. Are you thinking thoughts like, other people can conquer, but I can't? I've binged for way too long and I don't know if I can conquer. I see this all the time. The only thing in the way between you and someone else who conquers binge eating is the thoughts that you're thinking. The people who conquer have a rock solid badass mindset. They're like, I am so much more powerful over my urges. Yeah, it might be challenging, but I freaking got this. Okay, yeah, I'm feeling a little bloated after eating those fries for lunch, but it's all good. I can still make a different choice for dinner tonight. That mindset is everything. That mindset is everything. After a binge, what are your thoughts? Are you in judgment zone? Are you beating yourself up? Or are you changing the way that you're speaking to yourself and you're like, you know what? It's part of the process. It doesn't mean that my progress is going backwards. You don't focus on that one binge. You actually focus on the fact that you actually felt really good all week. Your mindset is everything. You need to have a rock solid badass mindset. Not just on the weeks that you're feeling good, but even more so after a binge. Even more so after you've just overeaten. You need a rock solid badass mindset. That's the first thing. The second thing is you need to trust the process. So many people are waiting for evidence. I need to see that it's going to work, and then I'm going to trust the process. But I need to know that it's going to work, and then I'm going to trust the process. It's actually reverse. You aren't going to know what a binge-free life looks like unless you actually trust the process. You put in the work, you get the results, and then there's the evidence. But right now, if you're waiting for evidence, you're waiting to know for sure that it's going to work before you take action, you're doing yourself a big disservice. You need to be willing to trust the process, even when you're not seeing results. You know, when you think about maybe like past diets that you've done, and you've kind of like seen your body change, right? There was like a tangible result. You physically saw your body changing. You're like, yep, there's evidence it's working. But when it comes to conquering binge eating, there's not really like a tangible tool that is going to be a determinant of your success. So you have to continue showing up and trusting the process despite the evidence. When I was on my journey, I fully trusted that I was going to conquer. Even though my current evidence was I was binging every single night. I was so uncomfortable in my own skin. All I thought about was food. That was my current reality. But I didn't let my current reality determine the actions that I took or I didn't take. I said, my current reality is, yeah, I'm binging and food is on my mind a lot. And I'm uncomfortable in my own skin. That is my reality. That is my reality right now. But I'm going to trust the process. I'm going to trust that this is exactly what I need to be doing. I need to trust and believe that I am making progress every single day. But this isn't just like, I trust, like, I'm going to conquer. No, like, you actually need to show up and put in the work, right? Like, when a strong urge to binge comes on, you got to not give in. You got to have that rock solid badass mindset. You have to change how you're speaking to yourself after you've just overeaten, after you ordered the French fries and you didn't feel the best. You have to take the action and trust the process along the way. It's not easy trusting the process. Everybody wants to be binge-free tomorrow. Everybody wants to be binge-free tomorrow. Everybody wants to know that it's going to work. And a lot of people have a hard time trusting the process because when you think back to all the different diets that you've done, you were never able to stick to them. So you don't feel like you can trust yourself to conquer. And you guys, it is two completely different things. Anybody can go on a diet and not be able to stick to it after like a week. That is different than conquering binge eating. You're not dieting. You're actually doing the complete opposite. You're releasing the rules. You are becoming less impulsive. You are shifting your relationship with food. You are rewiring your brain. You're getting rid of your urges. You can't fail. You literally cannot fail. But you have to be willing to trust the process. Don't look at the past and be like, okay, for all the different diets that I've tried, I was never able to stick to them. Nobody can. Don't use that as evidence for whether you can conquer binge eating or not. They're two completely different things. I couldn't stick to any diet, and I conquered binge eating. They're two separate different things. One creates urges, and one, you eliminate your urges. But you have to be willing to trust the process. Even if it's like, man, like, why am I still overeating? Why do I still have food thoughts? Rewiring your brain is the most effective way to stop binge eating, but it's not going to happen in a day or a week. You have to be willing to trust the process, which goes into the third part, is you need to commit long term. If you want to sustainably conquer binge eating for the rest of your life, you need to commit long term. In 2019, that was the year that I was like, I am fully doing this. I am all in. I am committed. I committed long term. But at the same time, I didn't have timelines. I never expected myself to be completely binge free by a certain time. I just knew I am going to conquer. I just knew that I deserved a better life for myself, for my family, for my husband. I knew that binge eating didn't feel like the real me. So I didn't put pressure on myself. I didn't set a timeline. I committed long term. You know, all of the clients that work with me, they work with me a minimum of 6 months. 6 months, 12 months. And they're the ones that are not just conquering binge eating, but they're sustaining it for years after even working with me because they're in it for the long run. They're like, I want to completely transform my relationship with food. I don't want to have a binge-free month. I don't want to not give in to my urges a few times here and there. I want to actually change my relationship with food. I want to fully rewire my brain so my urges stop popping up. When you commit long-term, you get long-term results. Who just said hi? Let me know what your name is. If you want sustainable, long-term results, you got to be willing to commit long-term to this journey. How committed are you? Anybody can commit for a week. Anybody can commit for 2 weeks. Anybody can commit for a month. But can you stay committed for 6 months? Can you stay committed to a year? If this is really important for you, you're like, honestly, 6 months is literally nothing. I was just talking to my clients the other day. And, you know, if you think about how many years you've struggled with binge eating, maybe it's 10 years, maybe it's 20 years, maybe it's 30 years. 6 months out of your life is nothing. A year out of your life is nothing. To spend the rest of your life never thinking about food, going on the trip to Mexico with your husband in your bathing suit, feeling so damn confident, you're not even thinking about what's for dinner. You're going to that all-inclusive restaurant, and although you could have dessert, honestly, you're like, I'm full, I respect myself, I'm good, I don't need the dessert. And then maybe the next night, you're like, yep, those brownies with the ice cream looks really good, and you get dessert. It's easy, it's effortless. I would rather that life and commit 6 months, a year, that's literally nothing, to have the rest of your life where food isn't on your mind 24/7. You don't have to worry about trying to not give into your urges. They don't pop up anymore. You don't have to worry about changing your body a million different times. Like, you feel so confident in your own skin. Is that not freaking worth it? Absolutely. My life has drastically changed since conquering binge eating. My intimate life with my husband has drastically changed. I have made way more money. I have a very successful business. I feel fulfilled every single day with what I do for a living. I have a global movement. I help hundreds of clients around the world conquer binge eating. I have a better relationship with my family. I'm not snappy. I'm not irritable anymore. I am calm. I'm very intuitive. I used to be like very logical. Like, I needed to control everything. I was this perfectionist. And now I love going with the flow. My husband always is like, I love how just like, you're so spontaneous and you're so in flow. And that used to never be me. I needed to plan everything. What time are we going for dinner? Okay, 4:00, where are we going? Like, I needed to know everything. And now I'm just like, let's just go with the flow. Hey, you want to go out for lunch today? Let's go. And it's the greatest feeling in the world. I can say to my husband, hey, let's go for a walk downtown. Let's go grab an acai bowl. Easy, effortless. Don't have to think twice. That to me is freedom. That to me is a life that I've wanted to live for so long. I wanted to stop being so rigid. I feel so present in my life. And I love it. Like, when I'm with my family, like, I feel present. When I'm with my husband, I feel present. Waking up in the morning and, just like cuddling with my husband without me like pushing his arm off, like, don't touch me. Like, it is all so freaking worth it. So this is a common theme with all of my clients who conquer binge eating. Number one, they have a rock solid badass mindset. You need to change your thoughts because your thoughts impact how you feel, and how you feel impacts your actions. If you think, oh my gosh, I can't give in to my urges, you're going to feel like, yeah, it's way too challenging, and you're going to give in. The second thing is you got to trust the process. You got to be willing to trust the process despite not seeing the evidence. Even if you're continuing to overeat, you got to trust the process. But you can't just trust the process and like, fingers crossed, like, hopefully I don't binge and hopefully I conquer one day. No, you actually need the proper tools to rewire your brain, to eliminate your urges. You got to practice not giving into your urges. Like, you actually got to put in the work, right? Like, you got to practice stopping when you're satisfied, right? You have to actually put in the work, but you have to trust. It's not like, oh, I'm still binging. Yeah, it's probably not going to work for me. No, you have to trust. You have to trust. On my journey, it wasn't rainbows and butterflies. I saw people conquering binge eating much faster than me. I still trusted that it was going to happen for me. Number 3, you got to commit long-term. You got to commit long-term. If you want long-term sustainable results, you have to be willing to commit long-term. I actually had somebody join my program, Conquer, and she was like, the reason I actually wanted to work with you is because I know you do things sustainably and you have a 6-month program, and I didn't want to do any quick fixes. She literally joined my program because she's like, finally, a long-term solution. I don't want to keep trying to stop my binge eating and try this and try that and try this. Like, I want to do this for real. Like, I'm so committed. It's a top priority. So those are the 3 things that you need. You need a rock solid badass mindset. You got to trust the process, and you got to be willing to commit long-term if you want those long-term sustainable results. If you want to never feel a single urge to binge ever again. If you want the food thoughts to completely eliminate, you have to commit long-term. If you want short-term results, commit short-term. If you want long-term results, commit long-term. For me, I was like, if I'm going to do this, I am all in. I committed well over a year. Like, I don't even know how long, like well over a year. And it was worth it because now I haven't binged in 5 years. I feel the best I've ever felt in my own skin. My relationship with ever felt my own skin. My relationship with, I'm not sugarcoating anything. It's like, these are the 3 things that you really need to master. Your mindset, trusting the process, committing long-term. If you want to go months and months and years without binging, never feeling a single urge to binge, and feeling like an unstoppable badass in your own skin. So these are the 3 things. I am here for the badasses who are serious about making a change. Your health is a top priority, and you know that binging doesn't feel like the real you. You know that you're meant to live a way better life, and this is important for you. Like, it's not just important for you, but it's important for your family. I had a client that started working with me a few months ago, and she's like, she has 4 kids, and she's like, this is not just important for me, but I want to show my kids what a healthy relationship with food looks like. And she's been learning so much in my programs, and she's, helping her kids, like, with breathing techniques and stopping when they're full. And, this is so important. It's not just you changing your life, but when you heal your relationship with food and you're no longer binging, it impacts your relationship with your husband. Your husband sees you glowing, healthier, happier, more patient, you're more calm, you're more grounded. You're a better wife. You're a better mom. You're a better coworker. When you walk into the office and you actually love who you are, and you're not doing these shameless things, binging in secret, you have so much more confidence. Your coworkers are like, what have you been doing? You're just so happy. You're freaking glowing. Yeah, because you worked on your relationship with food. It's this. People can feel it. When I was binging and I'm so insecure in my own skin, people felt that. I didn't feel like the real me. I'd be like, I used to be this bubbly person. But when I was binging, I would go to the store and I'm like, hopefully no one sees me. Hopefully no one from high school I'm going to see, from my hometown. Hopefully no one's going to see me. And now I'm just I'm back to my bubbly self. I'm back to feeling like the real me. And that is so important. You get to feel so freaking good. I don't care what anyone says. You can absolutely conquer binge eating, but the reason that you haven't conquered binge eating yet is because you don't have a rock solid mindset. As soon as you overeat, you're like, game over. You do well for a week and then you have a binge and you're like, see, I can't conquer. You're not willing to trust the process. You're waiting for evidence. You're like, I need to see that it's working. No, you got to trust the process and take the action to get the results, and that's going to give you the evidence that it's working. And you have to commit long-term. You got to commit long-term. If you want sustainable results, you got to be committing long-term. So these are the 3 things that you need to master. You master this, you are going to be good for the rest of your life. You're going to conquer binge eating, and you're going to stay binge-free without an urge popping up, without food thoughts popping back up. And it doesn't matter where you are. You can literally be on vacation. You can have the craziest days at work, feeling stressed and busy, and you still won't binge. When you actually get to the root of your binge eating, you rewire your brain and you no longer feel a single urge to binge. And this is exactly what I support you with. So thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. You guys know where to find me if you're ready to do this. If you're ready to go all in to conquer binge eating, you can send me a message. All right, you guys, have a beautiful rest of your day. And we'll see you guys soon. Bye, guys.